The Dyatlov Pass Incident, February 1959. 9 young hikers set out into the Ural Mountains of Soviet Russia. They were experienced, skilled, and determined. But what happened on those icy slopes remains one of the greatest mysteries of the 20th century. When rescuers finally found them, their tent was ripped open from the inside. Their bodies were scattered across the snow. Some were barefoot, some were half-dressed, and some carried injuries that defied all explanation. This is the Dyatlov Pass Incident. The expedition was led by Igor Dyatlov, a 23-year-old engineering student. His team included 7 men and 2 women, all in their 20s, all experienced hikers. Their goal was to reach Mount Otorten, a challenging but achievable trek. On January 27th, they began their journey. Spirits were high. Photographs recovered later show laughter, snowball fights, and camaraderie. They had no idea these would be their last days alive. By February 2nd, a brutal storm forced the group to camp on the slope of a mountain called Kholat Syakhl, which in the local Mansi language means dead mountain. It was here they pitched their tent. When search teams arrived weeks later, they found the tent still standing but slashed open from the inside. Supplies, boots, and warm clothing were left behind, as if the group had fled in panic. But why? The first 2 bodies were found near a tree, almost naked and barefoot in the snow. Their hands were burned, as if they had tried to climb the tree and build a fire. 3 more were found between the tree and the tent, frozen in the act of crawling back. The last 4 bodies were discovered months later, buried under snow in a ravine. Their injuries shocked investigators. 1 victim had a fractured skull. 2 had chest injuries so severe they were compared to a car crash. 1 woman was missing her eyes. Another was missing her tongue. And yet, there were no signs of a struggle, no defensive wounds, no footprints from anyone outside the group. The official cause of death was listed only as exposure and an unknown compelling force. But what force could do this? The avalanche theory suggests a sudden wall of snow forced the hikers to flee in panic. But experts argue the slope was too shallow and the tent was still upright. Others believe the hikers stumbled into a secret Soviet military test. Some of the clothing carried traces of radiation, and witnesses in the area reported strange orange lights in the sky. Another theory points to katabatic winds, a rare weather phenomenon that can create terrifying sounds and hurricane-like gusts. Some scientists suggest infrasound, low-frequency vibrations that can cause feelings of dread and disorientation. If this happened, the hikers may have fled in confusion, only to meet their deaths in the snow. And of course, the strangest theories involve the supernatural. Some insist the hikers encountered something unearthly, perhaps linked to the strange lights spotted that night. Even the recovered clothing raised questions. Several garments carried higher than normal radiation. Rescuers later described the bodies as having a strange orange-brown color to their skin. The final diary entries gave no hint of fear. They wrote about food, songs, and jokes. Whatever happened struck suddenly and without warning. The Soviet investigation was quickly closed. Files were sealed. Witnesses were told not to discuss the case. The official explanation was vague. Death by a powerful natural force. Decades later, researchers reopened the case, but no definitive answer has ever been agreed upon. Each theory solves part of the puzzle, but leaves another piece missing. Today, the Dyatlov Pass remains windswept and desolate. A memorial stone marks the place where the 9 hikers lost their lives. Were they victims of an avalanche, a military experiment, or something beyond human understanding? The truth may never be known. But one fact is certain. 9 young lives were cut short in one of the strangest and most haunting mysteries the mountains have ever held. Some mountains test strength, some test courage. But Dyatlov Pass tested something deeper, and it left behind a question that has never been answered.